Hey everybody, it's Dr. Kelly. What is the most important aspect of engagement learning? In this episode, we're going to get down into exactly what it takes to make sure that your customers, whoever that may be it your spouse, your kids, or your staff, or your customers, are with you during your conversations, and why, if they're not with you, you better pull a parachute and make something magic happen. In this episode, episode 40, we're going to get into engagement learning. Hey everybody, it's Dr. Kelly. I used to be a teacher in the toughest classrooms in the worst neighborhoods with the most difficult students. And what I learned there changed everything I thought I knew about content creation and delivery. Over the past 25 years, I've taught thousands of students, both in person and online. And what I can tell you is that effective online engagement is the hardest thing you'll ever do without guidance. So I've dedicated this channel to showing people exactly how to capture attention, hold engagement, and create transformation. Every single part of it. I love learning, I love teaching and making an impact, and that's all you're gonna find right here. All right, so here we go, guys. This is where the rubber meets the road. There's 3 things that you need to do to make sure that your customer, and remember, first I wanna define what a customer is. In our world, customers are anyone that you're talking to. You're conveying information. And whether that may be your desire to have your kids take the garbage out, or your desire to have a new customer come in, your desire to have the staff act differently, whatever, it doesn't matter. Your customer is everyone now. I want you to get that. Your customer is everyone that you're talking to. It could be your good friends and you're trying to set up a golf date. Guess what? There's going to be conflicting things that come up. Your customers need to be on page with you. And how do we do that? How do we make sure that your customers are where your customers need to be so that we can evoke change and the information that you're conveying is actually accepted? All right, so I'm going to go into where it really was a massive swing point for me. And that is going to take a little bit of time. I'm going to tell you this little story, but it's really worth it. So I remember I was in this course. And one of the rules, we had rules before you could even start the course. One of the rules in the course was be here now. And I remember thinking at the time that it was a little bit ridiculous because of course I'm here. I've already paid money. I've showed up. I'm here. But you know what? The really funny thing is even though I was here, present, mentally I was able to check out whenever I wanted to, check my phone, do some texting, whatever, and move away from here. And I find that people do that way more now than ever. Everybody wants to check their cell phone. Everybody wants to pull up some new information. Oh, I had this random thought. And in a later episode, we're going to get into with the dopamine response and how that is affecting people and their attention span and why it's so crucial that you need to be on your game. But for right now, in this episode, we need to discuss how to get you in the room and make sure that your customer stays in the room with you. Because having that connection is absolutely fundamental in order for you to get your point across and to evoke the change that you're looking for. So first things first, the very first thing you need to do is make sure that you are here now. You are listening and present in that moment. You aren't running to 10 different other places in your mind thinking, oh, I wonder what I'm going to eat for supper tonight. Oh, I've got to remember to stop at the store and get soy sauce, right? You'll find, and I promise you this happens to you because it happens to 99.9% of the population, is when you're in a conversation with somebody, you're doing 10 other things. You're not truly in that conversation. And I can promise you, when you go to a restaurant tonight or tomorrow or this weekend, I want you to look around and see how many people are sitting across the table from someone they care about, and they've got I've been to restaurants where when you look across, people don't even talk. Everybody's on their own phone. A table of 4, everybody's sitting down on their phone. Oh my God. When you go to a restaurant, you should have a rule that phones go in the purse or in the far corner, on silent, on airplane mode, whatever. You're supposed to be present in that moment. And you will find that when you're talking with someone, When their eyes start to drift, which is the first thing, make sure you've got constant eye contact. When their eyes start to drift, when they start to look away or the glazed look out in the sky, you've lost them. And they're going to grab their phone. And now, holy mackerel, you know what? And I'm not saying it's 100% your fault. I'm saying you got to be 100% aware of it. Because if you're not present and they're not present, what the heck is the point of the conversation at all? You might as well just go move on to something completely different. So step one is make sure you're present, and make sure that step two, you're maintaining eye contact at all times. Because when you're present and you're maintaining a consistent eye contact, you will find it much easier to understand where that person is coming from. And if you need to make adjustments in your conversation, in your information, in order to, now this sounds super simple, but you'll be shocked how many people don't do it. And I want to tell you one other story, and then we're going to get to the third point, and then I'm going to let you go. I was in a meeting one time with somebody who was selling me a product, and I was totally not interested. And I said, you know what, I'm not interested. And she kept talking, and she kept talking. And I had work to do, and she kept talking. So I started leaning back in my chair, and then I was glancing over at my computer, which was right there. And then finally, she was there for a long time, a long time. I turned over and I started answering some emails. She's over here, and she kept talking. She did not care that I was not interested. Finally, I stopped and I said, listen, I need to get to work. Can you wrap this? And this was years ago, but that's the difference between somebody who's engaged and observing what's going on and somebody who's in their own world and doesn't care. In order for you to make change that you're looking to make, engaged learning happens when you're in contact with the customer. And finally, goes back to our entire premise right now, is taking your information and linking it to their interests. So let's say you're talking to a brand new person, you go into their office, scan the room, see if they have any interests, start your casual conversation. Maybe it's about golf, maybe it's about tennis, maybe it's about horseback riding. Who knows? Find an interest and then start to try to link your information to their interests. If you want them to stay engaged with you, you need to make sure you're linking your information to their interests. We'll get into values, we'll get into learning styles, we'll get into hobbies, all those things. But start with just interests. Interests are easy. And this works amazing on one-on-one. Later on, I'll show you how to do it in a group setting. But let's just focus on linking information to current interests. All right, everybody, go out, try this thing. Be present in the moment. Make sure you maintain that eye contact. And then start linking. You're going to find awesome results. I'll see you in the next one. Take care.